Hey folks, how we doing today? This is Steve with Backyard Fed. I just wanted to get with you guys today. I know I've talked to you a lot about the chickens and me going out mushroom hunting and stuff like that. So I just wanted to get with you guys today because I went out mushroom hunting today. And I am by no means any kind of an expert. I seen some mushrooms and I was like, oh, I think I know what those are. Some of them had the pink gills underneath. They were right color and everything underneath. So I'm like, huh, I know I've learned about those a little bit. I thought they were something called horse mushrooms, but they were not. Um, Now the reason I'm coming out here and telling you guys this is because I tell you, and I try to preach as much as I can. You know, you get out of your yard and you go fishing and you go hunting if you like hunting, and you go foraging for wild plants and mushrooms and stuff like that. And it's just a good way to sustain yourself and your family and be able to not go to the grocery store as much and buy all the vegetables and everything else that have chemicals on them. You grow your own gardens and all this other stuff. But you have to be careful and you have to be knowledgeable. Okay, and like I said, I am no expert when it comes to mushroom hunting. So I wanted to show you guys. I got this big bag of mushrooms right here. I'm sure you guys can see it. All right. And in this big bag of mushrooms, I found the mushrooms and I thought they were one thing, and I knew I had to come home. I had to do some research, and there's a lot that goes into the research. You want to have field guides and stuff like that that are going to tell you. Buddy, come on, leave the chickies alone. Hi, ladies. But you want to have field guides that you can go to and you can reference things and look at things and make sure that the edibles that you're out in the woods gathering are going to be the right thing that you're looking for. Because like I said, I thought I had the right thing. I did not have the right thing. What I grabbed, well, let me grab one that actually looks decent. I've just been beating them up in the bag now. But here, as you can see, it's got like the pinkish colored gills on the inside. They're starting to brown a little bit now because I've had them in the bag for a few hours. But those right there, I've been using this book right here, and I got other books too, but I was able to just look them up in this one. It's the first book that I grabbed. It had the information that I needed in it. It is a good book. Like I said, I referenced them in here. I recommend you get a couple of different books though. Sometimes books will say different things. Like over time, throughout science and stuff, they'll come out and they'll be like, oh, well, this one's edible. A few years later, they're like, it's not edible. Like the angel wing mushroom, for instance. Up until just a few years ago, they called it an edible mushroom. And then over, I believe it was Japan, quite a few people got sick eating it, and a few of them actually died. Dang squirrel. But a few of them died, and that happened over in Japan. We have never had an incident here in the U.S. where anybody's even got sick off of angel mushrooms. But now, because of what happened over in Japan, and they don't know why it happened, they don't know what in the mushroom would have caused it. They were all older people, and they were going through like dialysis and chemo and other different things. So that might have contributed to it. I'm not exactly sure, but things change over time. So when you get field guides, go ahead and grab a couple different ones so you can cross-reference and so forth. But boys, please stop. Please stop. Thank you. But these ones right here that I have got that I just showed you, found back here on page 145 of this one. See if I can find 145 without losing. All right. That is right here. That is going to be the dark speckled mushroom. All right. And the horse mushroom has a lot of the same characteristics. Like I said, it's got the pink gills and stuff underneath. It grows in about the same areas. It's more commonly found in like pasture areas. That's why it's called the horse mushroom. These were found a little bit right off of a pasture underneath the trees. So a lot of the same characteristics for the most part, but I was able to come home and I was able to look at this, and thankfully I didn't feed it to my family because we would all got really sick or died. The next mushrooms I got I knew it was part of the Russula family, and that's these ones right here. All right, a lot of the Russula family are choice edible mushrooms, all right, which are like a delicacy. It's like the morels and stuff like that. So they're very good mushrooms to get. But I knew I had to check which one it was because some of them are not poisonous, but they're just not very edible. Like they don't have good flavors. They don't cook well, stuff like that. And then there are a few of the Russula family that is actually poisonous. So I definitely wanted to cross-reference that too, because like I said, I'm not an expert. I wish I was, I'm just not. So I came back and I cross-referenced that one. The one I got is right here. That is the yellow stain. And unfortunately, it's not poisonous, but it is not an edible either. It's just one that doesn't have much flavor. The edibility of it is just very low. So it wouldn't have hurt the family, but it wouldn't have done me any good to try to feed it to them because nobody's gonna like the flavor of it. So unfortunately, this whole big bag of mushrooms that I spent, I know I didn't actually spend that long out today. I only spent about an hour or so. But unfortunately, that's all going to the trash now. I don't want to leave it in the yard. You know, I don't want the chickens to get it, or the dog or cat or anything like that to get in there and get them. So they're all going to go into a trash bag, end up in the trash. But always, folks, whenever you are out in the woods and you are trying to find edible plants, edible mushrooms, medicinal herbs, anything that you are doing, make sure that you have got something to cross-reference with. You always want to do your research. You don't want to put anything in your mouth before you know what it is. All right, and unfortunately, you may know what it is. I mean, even when I brought home oyster mushrooms, which I know oyster mushrooms, I love oyster mushrooms. It's one of the main things I find throughout the year. But if I have any questions, first thing I do is look up spore colors for that variety of mushroom or anything else, and I take it. Now on spore for instance, like the spore print and stuff, a lot of mushrooms, they'll look exactly the same. And the only difference will be a spore print. The easiest way I've found to do a spore print, you can do it on white paper and everything else. I like using aluminum foil. I just lay a piece of aluminum foil out, I put the mushroom down. If you cut the cap of the mushroom off, it's going to be the easiest because you get those spores closer, so it's going to show you a spore print quicker. What are you ladies doing back there? And the spore color will be able to tell you a lot about that mushroom and what it is and if it's what you think it is. So that's really all I had for you guys today. Do me a favor, if you have stuck around this long, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to get this going. Hopefully I'm giving you all information that you enjoy. And yeah, until next time, folks. You guys let your backyard feed you. God bless and have a wonderful day. Bye now.